Well, we're focusing a bit more on the theme for this year's Children's Day, which is unlocking the treasures in our treasures. And we have discussing with us this morning Tomilola Adesonya, who is a brand and leadership consultant, joining us virtually. Thank you so much for speaking with us this morning. Happy Children's Day to you.
Happy Children's Day. And thank you so much for having me on the show. It's such a huge pleasure being here.
Well, there is a lot confronting the child of today. When you think about your childhood and you think about the childhood of children today, how much would you say has changed? And what are some of the things that we need to be careful of in such a way that we do not make the children of today lose their childhood so fast?
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. And I must say that is a very, very fantastic and necessary question. If I'm to do like a comparison of when we were growing up, I think the missing link here, or when I call it a missing link, but I think what I will call it is, I think the introduction of media, has been the difference, right? Between our time then and our time now. Right, and there's a lot of helicopter parenting where a lot of parents nowadays, they feel they can delegate that role of being a parent, right? So either they are nannies, housekeepers, schools, and even the government, right? But I don't think that should be the case. There was once upon a time when we were growing up, and even our own parents, where the adage that says it takes a village to raise a child. It was an important saying back then. Can we still say that now? Do I trust my neighbor enough to leave my child with them? Do I trust the people on the streets to leave my children to play football, to play things, to roll tires, to do all of those things now? So I think the game has changed, and it is the introduction of media and that sort of levity and freedom. Some weeks ago, I was having a conversation with a couple of parents. And, they were talking about, all these streaming platforms and how parents nowadays just leave their children to watch different things, uncontrolled. And I think that is a huge problem, nowadays that we're facing. Thank you very much.
Indeed. I mean, the challenges are a lot. You talked about helicopter parenting. Some people will say, well, maybe that's the parents' way of, having a village. Let me put it that way. But, maybe you want to speak a little more to what exactly is helicopter parenting?
Okay. So helicopter parenting is almost when you have like that overview approach, right, to parenting, right? When you look at things and say, okay, is a child, does he eat properly? Does he go to a good school? Do I have all his basic amenities catered to and all of that? So that's in my own words, I'll put it that way. That is helicopter parenting. But we don't have that hand-holding sort of parenting in this our present age, where parents are saying, when the Bible says, train a child the way he should grow, and he will not depart from it. I think a lot of parents nowadays, we are not really focusing on that aspect of training, of handholding, of mentorship, of leadership, of building capacity in our children. And so I'm a fight fan. I love the UFC and I love boxing. When you see a lot of people that succeed in those areas, right, you see that most of them, people like Floyd Mayweather, for instance, it was the tutelage of his father and his uncle that made him the person that he is. If you look at someone like Tom Aspinall, it is the tutelage of his father that made him the man that he is today. So there is that involvement of the parents, in the lives of the children. It is super, super important. Because the thing is this, if we delegate it to teachers, to governments, to even their nannies, what becomes of these children? Knowing that the teachers come from different backgrounds, knowing that the nannies come from different backgrounds, knowing that different people come from different backgrounds, how are you able to pass down the culture of your lineage to your children? So I believe we have sort of lost, that hand-holding process in parenting in this our current age. Thank you.
Well, interesting way to put it. I'm looking at when you say helicopter parenting, a good number of people have actually Googled it as well. I was one of them, I confess. And I see it's what you would say excessive involvement of the children, being overprotective, being not really allowing the children to grow, but literally just, monitoring and guarding and guiding everything that they do. I don't know whether that allows the children themselves to develop capacity, to build capacity. I saw a clip by Brad Williams, an American comedian, saying that, look, he's a little person, and his father knew that he was going to be bullied, so the father bullied him first to help him build resilience, to be able to confront all of these things. Do you see that kind of thing happening? Is it something that is necessary in parenting today to help the children to build capacity, or are we just keeping them from growing, so to speak?
Yeah, I think I would say it's a double-edged sword, right? But I would say, most of the parents nowadays, we pride ourselves in helping our children out in achieving their own primary goals. It is important we give our children hard things to do, hard problems to solve. This helps them build some level of capacity. Right, the thing is this, with success or with victory in any climb or in any area of your life is this: when you are able to conquer the first thing, there is that confidence that comes in you that, okay, I was able to do this. Now I can do this. Just to refer back to the Bible, if you remember the case of David and Goliath, before David faced Goliath, he had faced the lion, he had faced the bear. So when it was time to face Goliath, it was easy for him to say, I have faced the bear, I have faced the lion. It means I can face this uncircumcised Philistine. So it is very important that we give our children the ability to think of how to remove themselves from unfavorable situations, how to solve hard problems. And this takes me back to a video I saw of seeing Asian children, I think precisely Chinese children, on Instagram. And, a lot of them were learning how to cook. They were learning how to, be fashion designers. They were learning how to sweep. They were learning how to do the basic chores of life. And it is super important. When I saw it, I was sort of drawn towards that. Because the thing is this: how many young ladies right now can take up a thread and a needle and tack a button? I think we have sort of lost, there's a gap now. I remember our mothers, almost all of them, if there was something going on with your uniform, they will pick your uniform, they will tack it themselves, they will hem the whole thing themselves. They were industrious. They knew how to do a few things, right? So now I think there is that gap where, you feel indulging your child is literally caring for them. And I feel that is not the way to love a child. Don't indulge them, engage them, equip them, let them face hard situations, and let them come out triumphant. That is the only way they can face the world ahead of them.
And that's good word to the parents. What about the children? What would you be saying to the children who are our treasure? The children, do you have a message for the children?
Oh, yes. Children out there, if you're listening to me, you are the future, right? There is so much more you can do. Your dreams are valid, you are strong, you are capable. Lean into your inner strength. Children can do so much more. In fact, you have more capabilities than we adults have. You have the ability to learn multiple things per time. You have the ability to chase, to dream, and the world has not corrupted you. Every child is a plain slate. As parents, I have to involve the parents because the parents are involved. As parents, we need to paint the right image on the canvas of the children's heart. So children, go forth, succeed, you can do it. That is the word I have for the children.
And I think it's a fine place to leave it. Tomilola Adesonya, thank you so much for your contributions to Sunrise Daily this beautiful Children's Day. He's a brand and leadership consultant, and he joined us virtually from Lagos. Thank you once more, and happy Children's Day to you.
Thank you. Happy Children's Day. Thank you very much.